I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say this thing. I'm gonna say it. I didn't hate this movie. There are things about it I didn't like, and there are issues it has for sure. But I did not hate this. But I liked this movie more than Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends. The spoiler review. We're going to talk about this movie. We're going to both give our thoughts. Nick, I know you've already done a spoiler review of it. I have not given my thoughts because I just watched it this morning. Neither of us know what the other thought. I got a pretty good idea what Nick thought of it. But I know he doesn't. We have not spoken about it. We will be speaking spoilers here. So if you've not seen Halloween Ends and you don't want it spoiled, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you. You're probably going to want to go. But if you have seen it or if you don't care about spoilers, then hang out and we're going to talk about it. Give everybody a brief synopsis of what you thought of this movie. What's your brief review of Halloween Ends?
I want to give David Gordon Green the benefit of the doubt, but he's made some statements that pissed me off a little bit. Even John Carpenter has made some statements that pissed me off a little bit about how he handles his content. Halloween Kills, hated very, very much. Went in this movie very unoptimistic for this movie. And this is making my top 10 worst of the year. This movie is shite. This movie is a piece of garbage wrapped in a tinfoil of poop, spread all over someone's house. We'll throw that analogy. This is a flaming dead bag of dog shit that Adam Sandler and Billy Madison put on the doorstep, and that poor old man had to step on. I am that poor old man that had to step into this world of Halloween Ends and deal with this fucking nonsensical bullshit movie. Jacob, what do you think of the movie? I'm not even joking. This movie sucks. This movie is an absolute train wreck of a movie that should be buried and never talked about ever again after today.
But did you like it?
Yeah, if I was high on heroin or something like that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
All right. No. So, all right. Me, Halloween. I wasn't always the biggest Halloween fan of the original 78. Never hated it, but I was just never the biggest fan. 2018 came out. I went and saw it. My wife loves Halloween, so we went and saw 2018. I really liked 2018. I really liked the Halloween 2018. It gave me a new appreciation for the original one, the 78. I went back and have watched that. We watch it yearly, and I like that movie a lot more now. It made me more of a Halloween fan. I was surprised. So when Kills came out last year, I was excited for that because I was a Halloween convert, if you will. Kills came out. I didn't like Kills. Did not like Kills. I watched it again the other night with my wife, who is a huge Halloween fan, like I mentioned. She didn't like Kills either. Her views were very much like mine. The kills were really cool, but the story was just boring, and it was just a bunch of people running around talking about Evil Dies Tonight. And that's it. She just didn't do it for it. So yeah, Kills didn't do it for me. I'd heard in reporting on this movie leading up to the release of it, like Nick said, some disparaging things that I was just like, oh, I don't care for this. I will say I'd heard that they were going to be inserting a bunch of stuff about the pandemic into it. I didn't get it. I didn't see any of that.
No, nothing about it.
Yeah, I had heard that was going to be a part of it, and it was. So hey, good on them for that. That wasn't part of it. I did not see. Okay, the fact of the matter is the second movie had a lot of political. Not imagery, but just it was trying to say something politically. About more recent events. Mm-hmm. This one, I didn't get that. I didn't get any of that in this one. If it was there, they cut it out. Huh?
Yeah, no, it's in the beginning. It's more in the beginning and kind of how the characters get treated. That's the stuff they're talking about. That's the political stuff, but it's not as in your face as a bunch of fucking insane morons kills.
It's not like the second one. So they did that. It is better in that regard that those agendas and things like that, regardless if they line up with your beliefs or not, aren't there. So it's just a Halloween movie. Well, it's just a movie. It's not about that stuff. A movie.
That's exactly right.
So going into the movie, I was very cautious. I was not cautiously optimistic anymore. I was kind of like, this is probably not going to be good. I heard bad things. Kills wasn't great, and it sounds like it's going right into it. So I go into the movie, and it starts out. I will say the movie starts out with a bang, if you will.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The opening is like
it took me by surprise actually.
We had heard that the story was at least in part going to focus on a character that was babysitting someone and killed the kid. That's all we knew. We didn't know if it was maliciously or accident or what. Well, it does. It opens up with this character Corey, and he accidentally kills the kid. He's the little asshole he's babysitting because the kid's fucking with him and he's freaking him out and he's trying to get out of a door, and he kicks it open and it hits the kid, and the kid falls over a rail, falls down like 4 stories, and it shows him hit the ground and like fucked up, and all. That's the beginning of the movie. So I was like, oh wow, that it starts with a bang. So the first few minutes in, and I was like, okay, I'm not hating this.
Yeah.
Okay, we've started well, and the movie goes on from there. This isn't going to be a bit beat for beat, but my basic, just to show you, that was the headspace I was in at the beginning of the movie. As the movie went on, it makes some decisions and some choices that we're going to talk about. But overall, it wasn't even like it was a Halloween movie. It was like the majority of this movie was a different movie entirely. It was not. You would be forgiven if you thought you put the wrong disc in, as you're watching these movies, and you're like, oh shit, I thought I was putting in the sequel to the Halloween Kills, and I put something else in that just has the same actors in it. Because it's not, it doesn't even, there are little things here or there that further the story a little bit, but it's very different. Michael Myers, just not there.
It does the thing where it's like, we're going to wrestle with the idea of Michael Myers, and then we're going to Anakin Skywalker and make Michael Myers, after only 4 years, a myth. And I'm like, what?
And I'm very torn on this movie because I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say this thing, I'm going to say it. I didn't hate this movie.
Oh, damn it. No. That's cool. I'm glad at least you didn't hate it.
I didn't love it, but I did not hate the movie. There are things about it I didn't like, and there are issues it has for sure. But I did not hate this, but I liked this movie more than Halloween Kills.
Cool.
Now, in me saying that I didn't hate this movie, I'm not necessarily saying it's a good sequel to Halloween or for Halloween. Because the movie's, it's doing something different. That's for damn sure. I'll give them that. They are trying to do something different. Yeah. I just don't know if that's what people are wanting. And if that's what they want. I get what he meant now. David Gordon Green made comments saying this movie's going to do a lot of things that are going to piss off the fans. And in that, I'm like, it's good to do things different, but why would you knowingly go piss off the fans? But, and we'll get into those things, but Michael Myers is just not in the movie, really. He very, very briefly. He's not really into the movie until the last maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe?
he shows up sparingly.
Yeah, barely at all.
Yeah, and I actually thought they were doing something clever with the homeless guy. We'll talk about it, but I thought they were gonna, because I thought that was Nick Castle who's playing the homeless guy. I can't remember offhand. And Nick Castle, of course, played the original original Michael Myers, and I almost thought they were doing something clever with that, and they didn't do that. So
it actually was going to be Michael Myers because he said, "I'm Michael Myers."
The homeless guy was Michael Myers, and they were going to play off that a little bit. But then I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, and then they went places. So
I like this more than Kills, a lot more than Kills. I really didn't like Kills. I think Kills had better kills, ironically enough, but I liked this more than Kills. Ultimately, the basic premise of this movie is this kid Corey, or a young adult Corey, who because it's 4 years later after the end of the last movie. Michael's missing, and nobody's seen him since the night that he killed Laurie's daughter. And most of the movie, you see this Corey guy kill this kid in the beginning accidentally. He gets off, but he's kind of a pariah in the town, obviously. The town's ravaged, everybody's fearful of Michael Myers. And it's people, his legend is, kind of ruining the town. It's very Freddy's Dead, where the town's kind of going to shit because of this legend. Yeah. But Laurie has moved on. She's just finally giving up on it. She's like writing a book, I guess, about Michael or about her experiences or something like that. The granddaughter is living with her. Through a course of events, she ends up getting this Corey kid involved with her daughter, or her granddaughter, because she thinks, oh, he's a good kid. And they hook up, and they start to like each other. Now, this right here, I didn't buy that at all. Why did she just suddenly start liking this guy that came into the ER that she worked in?
Yeah, she's been through a lot of shit. I understand she has serious PTSD and she has serious trauma through her parents dying and dealing with Michael Myers. But she is one of the most poorly written characters through this entire series because she makes decisions throughout this whole entire trilogy that is borderline inept.
Preach.
Like, I didn't understand. Yeah, I'm going to date a guy who's going to be a psychopath, and then we're going to talk about that, and blah, 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 and we're going to escape the city, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah, why? That's what I was saying.
Where the hell is this coming from?
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't see it as a good sequel to Halloween, or the Halloween movies we've gotten. I didn't. Why did she take a liking to this guy suddenly? I don't get it. Okay, fine. You roll with it.
For him?
You roll with it. They needed that to happen. All right, so now she's wanting to like hook up with this guy. They're developing a relationship. Good on them. Young love. All that. Now the rest of the movie is like up until the final quarter is really just Laurie going around the town. Every now and then you get some callbacks to the other movies where they're like, "Oh, Michael's," and apparently now it's a thing. People are saying that she fucked with Michael Myers, and that's why he lost his shit. He was mentally challenged, and she fucked with him, and that's why he went and killed all the people.
Yeah,
that's a thing now.
I mean,
I guess that was their way of saying how people twist things around and all that in media.
I mean, I could kind of see that because like she's so inundated with Michael Myers in 1978's Halloween. Like I could understand that. Didn't bother me that much because it's very David Gordon Green and Danny McBride and the three other screenwriters for this movie is very progressive in their thinking, and they want to show what I'm not going to say it, but they want to show a certain event and how people look at that event and how people just look in general when certain things happen. And that's what happens here. You see it with like the wife or the sister of the woman who got stabbed, the one that had the drone in the Halloween Kills. And they want to show the effect of like blaming Laurie Strode for that, and I get it. I understand that. I think it's just too on the head when it hits that nail. So
yeah, that was a little. I mean, I don't know. That's like that's a slippery slope there when you start messing with that. But like you said, that stuff, I was like, okay, whatever, just moving on. They didn't really spend a lot of time on it. It came up a couple of times. The radio jockey, he said some stuff about it. But so the whole movie is really just this relationship between this really damaged guy. Now, there was something they were doing, well, they started doing, they kind of did with this character, and I think that they were trying to say this, but they didn't do the greatest job. They really were half-assed on it. How they wanted to say it was kind of like creating a monster, like how this guy who was a good guy, this bad thing happened that wasn't his fault, and how he was turned into a monster more or less. By the end of the movie, this guy has become Michael Myers, by the way. And we'll talk. There's some possible supernaturalist shit going on, looking into people's eyes or some shit. We'll get there. But I liked how, like, when the dad was saying, "Oh, I pulled over on the side of the street to like, I looked in his eyes and I wanted to like forgive him and all this, but then that kid, I don't think that kid killed my kid. But when I looked into his eyes, that wasn't the same person. Like I don't know if the town did it or what. And it is like you're led to believe that over just all these people just being really terrible to this person. And I could see that in a situation like this, a small town. Yeah, the town would probably like just give you all kinds of shit about it. And it slowly turned him into a monster. I like that idea. Yeah. I just don't think it was executed very well. Michael Myers is still alive. It's just nobody can find him. We find out that he's been living in the sewers with Pennywise. Eating what? Doing what? Definitely not bathing, I'll tell you that much. But he's been down in the sewer.
Evil did bathe tonight.
Evil bathes tonight. But he, the kid, Corey gets beat up by some high school kids. Corey's an adult at this point, by the way. He's like 21 or 2. He's getting picked on by a bunch of high school kids, by the way. In the band. Marching band kids, by the way.
Yeah, because they wouldn't give him beer.
How the fuck you getting picked on by marching band kids? But anyway, he is, and he gets thrown over a fucking bridge. where this not manhole, like this drain hole is, and that's where Michael is. And Michael drags him in there, and he has an encounter with Michael Myers. This is the first time we see Michael Myers in the movie. He's down. You've seen it in the trailer where he's down in the sewer. And he grabs the kid, and they look into each other's eyes. They gaze longingly into each other's eyes. And we see flashes of stuff. I think it's from the previous movie. I don't know if Michael was transferring part of his consciousness or something over to this
like
kid.
Conduit or some shit.
But at this
he
point,
knew he only had like.
It's never said, but we're led to believe strongly that something happened there. They had a connection. And now the kid has taken on part of Michael Myers or something. I don't know. He at this point, he becomes fucking psycho. He becomes what everybody's saying he is in the town. And he gets this infatuation. He ends up, there's a guy that, the young girl that he's now trying to date or pseudo-dating, Laurie's granddaughter, her ex-boyfriend was a police officer. He lures him down there and has Michael murder him. And, also when you kill people now, and I don't think this was a thing in the previous films, but for Michael and him, there is a supernatural element because Michael's all fucked up and he's like, he can barely move. But as he starts stabbing this police officer, his bloodlust comes through and he heals and he stands up straight and he's like, he's better. So killing makes him stronger. But we see that with the kid later on, or the Corey. He goes and murders a guy, stabs him in the neck with a fucking corkscrew. And then as he's done that and he watches Michael stab the woman, you see his hand start to heal, or it is healing, or it's in better shape than it was. So murder will heal you physically in this world, apparently. I guess. I don't know, because it's like the movie never really addresses it head on, but it pretty much does. I mean, it shows his hand, and like as he's done the murders, it starts to get better. It is better, and Michael clearly became erect from murdering that guy, and he's all good now. He's all fucked up before, and now he's like, oh yeah, I'm Michael Myers again. So yeah, now this guy's like, I guess, and then it's really erratic because he murders these people in cold blood with his little mask, his little clown mask that is reminiscent of the first Halloween movie, the first mask that Michael wore. And then, like in the next scene, he goes and picks up Laurie Strode's granddaughter. I can't remember the girl's name. That's how pitiful the character is, Allison. And he's like, I think I've done something bad and all that. And he's like, we need to get out. It's like he's like two different characters, like going back and forth. Like he wants to go murder people, and then he wants to be. I don't know. I guess it's,
let's have sex now.
Yeah, it's supposed to show like conflict, I guess, but it doesn't do a very good job of it. So these are the parts of the movies I didn't like. I was following it, but I was like, this is very hamstrung together. But then, so we get to the end of the movie. Now I'm sure we've skipped a few things. He goes on a murderous rampage, by the way. He attacks Michael. That's right. Just randomly.
Yeah, the DJ. Yeah.
Michael is his mentor, and then he just decides randomly goes into the sewers and beats the shit out of Michael. And he says, "You got something I want!" And he jumps on him like a fucking gremlin. He takes the mask. He leaves. It is kind of fun. But he leaves, and he becomes Michael Myers, more or less. It's him, but he's dressed up, in the mask and the jumpsuit. He gets a jumpsuit like his. Michael's alive, but he just doesn't have the mask.
He just sits up. He's like,
yeah, and he goes and he kills the kids that were picking on him. And he kills...
The DJ kill was pretty cool, too.
Yeah, the DJ kill, although he just busts out some scissors out of nowhere. He beats the fucking guy's head in, and like his jaw's all hanging off. That was cool. He's like, and then he just comes in from the side with a pair of like kitty scissors and like click. I'm like, where did the scissors come from? But okay, whatever. It was cool. And then the tongue's on the thing, and it's like hitting the record, the record needle. So he kills the DJ, he kills the kids. His dad or stepdad, whichever it is, gets killed in the process. He doesn't kill him. One of the kids does, trying to kill him. Does he kill somebody else? He kills his mom.
Yeah.
It doesn't show it. It shows him attack her, and then it just cuts off.
Yeah.
Well, then he goes to Laurie's house.
I was like sitting there and I'm watching this movie, and Laurie lights the pumpkin, and then she calls up the police. And she's like, "Hey, look, look, people, I'm gonna commit suicide. There's gonna be a suicide, or somebody's gonna kill themselves, and it's like, I'm like, oh my god. And then of course my Corey comes up in the Michael Myers mask, opens the door, and Laura's like, fuck you. Would you think that was actually gonna happen? And she shoots him and stuff like that. He falls down the steps. And
I will say, one of my issues with the trailer, because it showed that in the trailer, she pulls it, and I was like, the movie's over right there. I was like, because Michael's supposed to be somewhat not totally supernatural. She just blew his fucking head off. I mean, what is is the gun gonna jam or whatever? Well, I mean, there you go. It wasn't Michael, but she shot the shit out of him. How does
Michael Myers know where to go? Does he know? Like, is he seeing through Corey's eyes and where he's at?
He saw her there earlier in the film. I will say that much. There was a part. It showed him like off the side, and he walked off for some reason. But how he got there, I don't know. But he did know she lived there. Yeah. But yeah, well, she shoots Corey. He falls down, and she goes down there, and she's saying something to him about how, I'm gonna fuck you up and all this. And he hears the daughter or Allison come home outside, and he takes the knife, and he says, "If I can't have her, nobody can," or something like that. And he stabs himself in the neck. And of course,
like, oh shit.
Of course, Laurie pulls the knife out. As this is happening, you're like, she's gonna walk in and see her with a knife and think she killed him. She pulls the knife out, and then Allison walks in, and she's like, "What did you do?" She's just holding. She's like, "Oh no, I didn't do that." It was such a trope. That was a hell of a trope right there. He drops the knife, and Allison's freaking out, and she runs off. He's dead, we think, and Laurie just falls down. She's like, "Oh no, life is terrible," but he's dead. And then she hears somebody walking around. You see somebody pick up the mask. Michael's there now, and she realizes he's there, gets her shit together, and they have their big fight for the end of the movie. And it's the fight that we saw in the trailer with the kitchen. What'd you think of the fight?
It's fine. It's not what I would call it. It's not the best fight I've seen. I still think the original Halloween 2018 has the best fight of the series.
In her house there at the end.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I think the problem here is how it ends more than anything, because one of two things are going to happen, or one of three things are going to happen. Michael Myers is going to kill Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is going to kill Michael Myers, or they're going to kill each other. And that's what it looked like. It looked like at some point when, she had Michael Myers pinned down at the table and then cutting his throat. Apparently you can't kill the boogeyman because they need to slice him open like 6 different ways. He grabs her by the throat, and she's like, "Do it." And then we see all the flashback shit. I thought it was going to be that. They were just going to kill each other, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted Laurie Strode's character to be done. It was fine. It was fine. It was perfectly all right. It didn't bother me as much as, like I said, the Corey Cunningham shit should have never been in the movie. This should have been a movie that took place right after, Halloween Kills. And it didn't. It decided to jump forward 4 years. And this is what they felt they could get out of it. It's fine. It's brutal. It's violent. It allows both characters to get the upper hand on one another. It's intense, and I think it works. But I just think where it ends up playing out, which we'll talk about, is where I really have
where
a
it inevitably goes.
So.
Well, I liked.
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
I'm with you. I think that the fight in the first one was more intense, because in that one when I say the first one, the 2018, because I thought she was going to die in that one too. I thought he was going to get her, or I didn't know. You didn't know. And I will say that much for this fight. It was fine. It was good. It was intense because you didn't know. I like you said, your 3 options. He dies, she dies, they both die. I didn't think her dying and him not. I figured he was going to die. At least maybe we'll get like a thing where, he disappears or something. But, he was going to not make it through this fight. But I didn't know she was. So as they were fighting, it was a bit tense. I was like, she's going to, is he going to get her somehow? And when he grabbed her by the neck and we had the flashbacks, I thought, okay, this is it. He's going to stab her, and he's going to bleed out. She's going to bleed out. And they're going to bleed out looking into each other's eyes or something like that. But that's not what happened. She just sat there and kind of like slowly tortured him. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Seeing what this guy's done over the years and how much he's done to her life and everything he's done just within this movie, I think I would have cut his fucking head off.
She did that
quickly.
In H2O. No, I'm sorry. She supposedly
cut the ambulance driver's head off.
Yeah.
No, I would have.
But yeah,
been much quicker in what I would have done to him. But no, he almost gets her, and the Allison comes in and saves her and says, "No, you're not gonna die tonight. Evil dies tonight, not you." I don't know, but so he's dead, and the police show up. They like cut his throat. She cut his wrists. She's got him stabbed, like pinned down like Jesus, and he's dead, supposedly.
Yeah.
And the police come in. And they're like, "Oh, are you okay? Where is that Michael?" And she's like, "He's dead." And one of them, I can't remember, says, "Not dead enough." So this is when shit gets a little weird. They take Michael Myers' bloody, mutilated body, and they tie it to the top of her Ford Focus or whatever she's driving, and they drive like a funeral procession throughout the town. As the whole town, I guess word spread, the whole town gets involved and starts following them, and even the state police come in, and they're like, one of the cops you hear say, "This ain't the way we do this," and the other cop says, "It is tonight." And they take Michael Myers, the whole town takes him to the dump or whatever it is, the scrapyard, and they have one of those machines that you see, those Satisfying videos where they like destroy like metal and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess for destroying cars. And she dumps Michael's body into it, and we see him get obliterated into nothing. And that's the end of the movie. She goes on and she reads her book. The police officer that she has a thing for and he has a thing for her, they get together, and the mask is in her living room or something.
Yeah, they gotta get those cherry blossoms together.
Oh yeah, they talk about going to Japan. I ain't gonna lie. The end, I wanted something a little bit more satisfying out of the end. It wasn't god awful, but it was like, I don't know. I wanted something a little bit more satisfying than just she cut his wrist, cut his throat. Something with a bit more punch. I mean, they obliterated his body, so if Michael Myers in spirit comes back, which apparently he can do that now, but his body ain't coming back because it's fucking pureed. It is gone.
Here's the thing. Somebody brought this up because he was a conduit for Charlie's body. Do you think this is like now that she had sex with him, she's gonna have a baby? So the next movie is gonna be Halloween Rebirth or Halloween Reborn or some shit.
Jesus Christ!
So she's gonna have the baby in mind. They're gonna take from a Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, just have the reincarnation of fucking Michael Myers or some shit.
Probably.
You know they're gonna do it.
Fuck.
If this movie can rip off Friday the 13th Part 5 or Part 6, whatever, the one with
7,
you know, whatever that, yeah,
or Goes to Hell. I think 7 or 8.
Right, where the victim becomes the murderer. They can do anything in Halloween. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. So.
Jesus. Well, I mean, okay. So, all right, the movie, I still stick to, I like this more than Kills. Kills was a fucking mess. This had a lot of issues, a lot of conveniences, but lots of movies have conveniences that I still enjoy. As a movie, all on its own, standalone, I think it was fine. I enjoyed it enough to watch. I didn't hate it. As a Halloween sequel, it didn't really do it for me. It was just kind of like, I applaud them for trying something different. I'll give them that. Different within Halloween. I'll applaud them for that, but different does not always mean better. But I'm happy they tried something different. It just didn't really hit for a Halloween sequel. For just a movie, sure, whatever. I mean, it had a lot of conveniences, but they were just, I don't know. It's just, you got a Halloween movie that 3/4 of the movie, Michael Myers is not even in it. That's kind of counterintuitive at this point. The Corey character was so erratic.
Yeah.
It's like I liked what they set up, and I liked what it seemed like they were trying to do. Like I said, the whole thing with the town making him a monster and him not being one, like turning him into a monster. I like that idea. The whole thing of him, through them making him a monster. Do away with the fucking looking into Michael Myers' eyes and becoming him. That what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
Because they had shown that he had had so much turmoil or torment through the town that they would lead him down this, like, he had mental issues at that point. So I was like, okay, I could go with that. That he's just been tormented by this town so much it drove him down this road. I'd be okay with that. And if he, like, picked up, you know, the Michael Myers mantle, and maybe if part of the movie we thought it was Michael Myers, but it actually was him, which is what they were kind of, we thought was going to happen, I'd probably be sitting here saying that was kind of trite too, but I don't know. It just seemed really weird to have a Halloween movie that Michael Myers just really wasn't in.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It didn't overall do it for me. I will say I stand by. I liked it more than Kills. What about you? Did you like this less or more than Kills?
You know, as much as I wasn't like a huge fan of Halloween 2018, it felt like a Halloween movie. Kills felt like something that was being politically thrown in my face, and I didn't like that. And this movie just felt, it's like when you watch a really good first act to a movie or first movie, and then the second one's not great or pretty terrible, and you get to the third movie and you just kind of don't care anymore. I think that's what this movie did. I just stopped caring, and it really took me from being a huge Halloween fan to just being like, I like the first one. To be fairly honest, the original 1978 first one, I think the newer one's okay. But you get to that third movie, like Rise of Skywalker, and you're just like, I don't care anymore. Whatever, fuck this shit. Yeah, by the time I got to this one, I think it was just like, I don't care anymore. So.
There it is, ladies and germs. Halloween Halloween ends. It ended. That's
sure
for
did.
sure. It
the next movie 3 years.
kind of. I know Nick kind of hated it. I just thought it was kind of limp noodle. I mean, I don't think it was as. I probably liked it a little bit more than you, but at the same time, I will not watch it again. I mean, I have no desire to watch it. I appreciate the swing, but it doesn't change the fact that it was a bit of a miss for a Halloween movie. For a Halloween movie, it just seemed like a different kind of movie. It didn't seem like Halloween. Whatever. You win some, you lose some. At least it was better than Kills, in my opinion. But let us know in the comments below if you've seen Halloween Kills and what you thought of it. Did you think that it was a swing and a hit, or a swing and a miss, or just a fucking mess? I don't know. Or did you think it was great? Let us know in the comments below what you thought of Michael Myers' final foray into cinema.